Coming up on Mountain News at 6, a home explosion results in one woman being badly burned in Laurel County. And lawmakers evaluate a proposed bill that would keep Kentucky prisoners from receiving a sex change operation or cross-hormone drugs.
And the flood watch for the WYMT viewing area has been extended until Sunday night. Details in a few minutes.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
The rain has stopped for the time being, but there is threat of more on the horizon, which could pose possible flooding issues. Meteorologist Eric Dean is keeping track of all of things weather on this First Alert Weather Day. Eric, what can you tell us right now?
All right, so everybody in the WYMT viewing area is now under a flood watch. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the latest map. Flood watch is in effect until 10 p.m. Sunday. This starts Saturday morning at 4 a.m. and goes until 10 p.m. Sunday. And this is for every county in the WYMT viewing area. Now, temperatures right now in the 20s, 30s, even mid-30s, 30 in Whitesburg, 36 in Whitesburg, 30 in Wise, 36 in Harlan, 30 in London, 30 in Somerset, 31 in Monticello. You go over towards Lexington, 29 degrees is the current temperature. So here's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. Again, all is quiet right now. As we go throughout the evening hours of Friday, some places could see a little bit of rain. So for tonight, going into the day on Friday, all is going to stay mainly quiet. We may see a few peaks of sunshine for the day on Friday. But again, overnight lows will be in the upper teens and low 20s. Will stay partly cloudy throughout the evening hours. 7 a.m. we'll see that temperature of 24 degrees. But all eyes are on the weekend, and we'll plot everything out with Future View coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Amelia.
Thank you, Eric. And we want to remind you that you can download that WYMT weather app to keep up with the latest weather that's happening. You can use your phone, scan that QR code. It's on your screen right now. The QR code will take you to where you can download the app. It's free in the App Store and the Google Play Store. A woman is in the hospital with serious burns tonight while Kentucky State Police investigate a home explosion. It happened in Laurel County yesterday afternoon, and tonight Samantha Valentino is asking an expert what you can do to prevent a similar situation.
This afternoon, things are quiet on Glenview Road, but the East Bernstadt fire chief says a neighbor described hearing a loud noise Wednesday when there was an explosion at this home. It was around 3:16 when fire crews arrived. They say the home was fully engulfed in flames after an explosion. Kentucky State Police say the homeowner, Shirley Wynn, was found with severe burns to approximately 80% of her body. She received immediate treatment before being taken to the hospital and transferred to a specialized burn treatment facility in Louisville.
One day after this explosion, at least 8 propane tanks sit in this home's lawn. Kentucky State Police say early findings indicate that propane used for a floor space heater was likely the cause of this explosion and the fire.
First and foremost, if you're going to be using some type of a heater indoors, you need to make sure that that heater is approved for indoor use.
Glenn Burge is the senior energy tech at Southern States in London.
The tank top heaters, they are approved for indoor use, but they're not approved for in-home use. So you want to read that, and it will have their warning labels and things on the box.
A leaking propane tank could cause an explosion or fire. So Burge says it's important to know the warning signs or smells of a leak.
If you smell a smell like rotten eggs or garbage or something of that nature, that alerts you to get away from that.
Burge says if you smell it, you should turn the heater off and go to the source, your propane tank, and make sure that it's turned off to prevent leaking. You should report the leak to your propane retailer or your local fire department and not re-enter your home until the system is checked and an expert tells you it's safe. In Laurel County, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Kentucky State Police are still investigating to determine an official cause of the explosion and the fire. In Claiborne County, Tennessee, 2 people were arrested after police executed a search warrant. Yesterday, police went to a home in Tazewell where they found a fugitive from Ohio hiding. Eddie Lawson was wanted for an indictment of aggravated possession of drugs. Kendall England was also wanted on several charges. During a search of the home, police found 2 handguns and more than $6,000, believed to be the profit of the sale of narcotics. gender treatments, and sex change operations could not happen within Kentucky's prisons under a bill that moved in a Senate committee today. Supporters say the bill was filed after it was learned these treatments were made available to some inmates 4 years ago. Those against the measure say it's going to hurt inmates who need specialized care within the LGBTQ community. WYMT's Phil Pendleton explains the debate from the state capitol today.
Kentucky prisoners could not receive a sex change operation or cross-hormone drugs if Senate Bill 2 becomes law.
The reason this is needed is to make sure that this is in statute so they don't go back to doing it illegally by memo.
Senator Wilson told the Judiciary Committee that happened in 2021.
And the idea that we would fund prisoners and pay for these procedures that are wrong is, I think, outrageous.
But members of the LGBTQ community say this bill would put a stop to essential treatment for a segment of the prison population. Hannah Callahan says it happened to her in Indiana.
I suddenly became weak and lethargic. I spent most of my time in my bunk asleep. I didn't have a clear head and my mind felt numb. My depression became so severe that I contemplated suicide.
Others say that it's simply unconstitutional to deny this type of care. They say it's part of a dangerous trend.
First, it was about transgender athletes, then it was about transgender youth. Now it's about adult transgender inmates, and pretty soon they're going to be coming for everyday trans Kentuckians who are just trying to live our lives and be parts of our communities.
The bill passed 6-2 with one lawmaker passing. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The bill states if ending treatment for an inmate shows physical harm to them, the health care provider may institute a period in which the use of the drug is systematically reduced and then eliminated. A new House bill could impact how much you are paying for a college education. House Bill 434 would put limits on how much college tuition can be increased. For new in-state students, tuition could be raised up to 5% annually, and a 4-year tuition freeze would go into effect. For out-of-state students, that number is 7%. More than $900,000 was awarded to clean up illegal dumps in 17 counties in Kentucky. The announcement was made by Governor Andy Beshear and the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet. Several counties in our area received grants. That's Breathitt, Estill, Floyd, Johnson, Lawrence, Martin, Perry, and Wolfe counties. In a statement, Governor Beshear says the state is putting in work to welcome more businesses and visitors.
Well, we got a break from the rain. We're seeing cloudy skies, temperatures in the 20s. Feels like temperature already down into the teens, but more rain is in the forecast. Details in a few minutes.
And students at one school rally around a teacher after a tree damages his home.